All right, boys. Welcome to Looper Talk. My name is Tim Palmer. We have a fellow member, a awesome individual, Angel. He's a member at the country club like myself. I will give a little shout out to the country club. It's an online golf environment where you can create connections and get good golf advice, business advice, even financial advice regarding real estate. Members of the country club range from professional golfers, PGA professionals, to businessmen, some that even have companies that are worth 8, 9 figures. So I will leave a link in my description on how to get to the country club if you're interested. It's a very good community to be a part of. So now we'll talk about Angel. Is it Mendoza, his name?
Yep,
Right
Mendoza's
on.
correct.
So Angel has been a member. I think he's one of the first members. He and Cam had a relationship through the internet like myself. Cam is the owner of the country club. And so we are doing this podcast based around that and kind of what he does. He is my first golfer that has more on the business side than he is the golfing side, but he's also an avid golfer. So we'll have a good conversation. We'll bring some new aspects into my channel that will be good for most of my viewers. So, Angel, off gate, just give us a brief rundown of who you are and what you do for work. And yeah, we'll pivot off of that.
Sweet, bro. Yeah, thanks for having me, dude. Excited
Yeah,
to hear.
absolutely.
So my name's Angel. I have a digital marketing company here in Orange County, California. I've grown up a very hyperactive kid, right? Couldn't hold a job for the life of me, and always had these big ideas, and always was on YouTube trying to figure stuff out, learning things, and teaching myself new stuff, and just enjoying life, trying everything I could possibly do, skateboarding, snowboarding, spearfishing, like everything I could possibly do. And tried a bunch of businesses, failed. I started a clothing brand and sold it to Sears when I was in college. And that was like my first big business break, I would say. Right. And from there, okay, what do I do now? I just freaking sold the company to Sears. Where do I go from here? And one thing that I did that I really liked is we sold a lot of clothing, but I really liked managing and creating the website. Right. So that was something I did myself. And so I ended up going deep down that rabbit hole, got really good at building websites for small businesses. And most of the businesses that I was encountering were home service businesses, like contractors, and have been providing services for them for the past 6 years, marketing wise, operations wise, now AI wise, obviously.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Just diving deeper down that business rabbit hole, the technology rabbit hole, and helping home service businesses just execute on it.
That is amazing. What was your clothing company, by the way?
My clothing company was called Die Hard Lifestyle.
No shit. I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah, well, Sears has a subsidiary called Die Hard, and
Okay.
that's why they bought me out, right? So
Oh,
just
that's
we're like, screw it,
amazing.
we're just gonna buy you guys. Yeah.
Dude, that is incredible. Okay, so clothing, what kind of is it basic clothing in terms of sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies?
That's it. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Sweatshirt, t-shirts, hoodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
Okay.
very basic stuff, dude. Like it was
Yeah.
just my logo on the front of it. It wasn't anything crazy. But I had one thing that I did is I had all my friends. We would go shooting, we would go off-roading, we would do all the active mountain biking, we'd do all these extreme sports, and we would just rep our clothes and bring all of our friends. We would go to Barstow, which is like 2 hours from here, bring shotguns, all kinds of guns, have bonfires, bikes. We would just freaking have a great time and rep our clothing.
Okay.
People, the brand grew, and people just random people across the US were just buying our clothes, dude. It was cool.
Oh, that's amazing. So it was like a culture situation where you based the culture around a piece of like a logo which got on clothes
Yeah.
and that
Yeah,
that
this is
sort of
it. This
lifestyle. Hey,
this is a rough kind of
oh, dude, that is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. There was a bunch of
So,
s but yeah.
oh, that is so cool. I've drawn a few logos in my life. I come from an artist family. My
Yeah,
mom's side is all the artist, and I have a cartoon sort of style. Again, I'm not an artist. I have a little bit of talent, but I'm not anything to brag about. I've always find it fascinating when people create brands, what their logo is and how they
that's
create that. I like what you did though, because you almost made it into it was deeper than just what the shirt said. It was an actual lifestyle.
for sure, and the
Yeah.
slogan was, "Do what you love hard till the day you die," and
It's simple and powerful, dude.
it was inspired by my buddy who had passed away. He was my best friend, right? And he was going to school to be a motorcycle mechanic, and motorcycles were something me and him connected on, and we were young kids and couldn't wait to have motorcycles, saving up every penny we had to buy a motorcycle. And we were so, like, adamant about buying a motorcycle, we were lowballing people on Craigslist, trying to get the cheapest thing we could find and trying to fix it up, and so he ended up pursuing it super hard, and that's all he ever did. He moved to Arizona just to go to MTT, or Motorcycle Technical Training School or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he got a motorcycle, a freaking sick bike, and somebody pulled out, and he rammed right into their wheel well and passed away, dude. And so it was instead of being sad about it, I was inspired about, like, well, holy shit, dude, this guy went for it. He went for it. He went really hard, and that was how he went out. And so that's what inspired me to do that, right? So it was kind of tribute to him.
Man, I appreciate you sharing me that story. Now I see where your motivation is. That's amazing. I've had a few friends pass away as a kid. Luckily, none of them were my best friends, but I think when it's one thing, a family member down the road, whatever, but when you have a friend that you connect with that passes away, that it hits a little harder, man. So I appreciate you opening up on that because that's not an easy thing to go through, but to see you use that as a positive wherever he is now, trust me, he's appreciative of that. That's amazing. That's so cool. Well, so you basically are an entrepreneur, it sounds like,
Yeah,
and a good one at that, and you're very motivated individual. So to kind of cater this with the golf situation, what got you into golf?
dude. Not a very exciting story. My barber was just my when I was actually young, I went to this thing called Tiger Woods Learning Center,
Okay.
and that was just like a summer activity thing. They had a driving range that you could go to for free, and we would go there just to kill time at the Tiger Woods Learning Center during the summer, do a couple hours a day, and with me and some kids from church, so my parents would put me in, and I think one of the instructors kinda showed me a little bit on how to hold the club while I was hitting the driving
Hmm.
range, and may have gotten a lesson or 2. I don't really remember. I just remember being there at the driving range, and I remember some guy adjusting my grip. That's how I, like, learned the finger inside.
Yeah, the interlock. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I still
yeah.
have that because of that, and, never changed really my grip much, and that was it. I did that for 1 summer, right? And I was in my teens, right?
Right, right.
And probably like junior high or something. Fast forward 2 years ago, my barber is deep in a freaking golf, and he's like, "Dude, I'm going to golf every single weekend. You gotta come." I'm like, "Sure, man, go with you.
Right.
I'll start hitting the range." And I've gone a couple times. I'll start hitting the range and see if, like, I feel comfortable going. And I went to the range, and I was able to cycle through most of my clubs, and I was like, "Okay, I think I can do this. I don't know. What do you think? Should I go to the like play at a course?" And he's like, "Yeah." We went, and I played freaking good. I played
Thanks, man.
I played good that first day, and this is my first day playing on course. It's not that hard, right? Like,
Yeah.
I got a couple pars, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I mean, it is hard, but it's not that bad. And, dude, it's only gonna get better, right? I'm only gonna get better from here. And then I went back the second time because I had already gotten the bug instantly because I could see how this is fun, right? And so I went
Mhm.
back the second time, and I played like ass, bro. What happened to the freaking first time? They're like, "Yeah, it's freaking, it's what is
Golf,
it?
baby.
Beginner's luck. Why am I getting worse? Like, why
Yeah,
can't
right.
what I did the first time?" And so it just the journey started since then. I immediately got lessons. I'm gonna do this for a long time. 2 or 3 months in, I went to go get lessons, and I did golf tech for 4 months
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
and helped me a lot, and now I'm, 2 years in, 2 years and a couple months in, and I'm a handicap of probably 18. I'm an 18
Oh, right
handicap,
on, dude. Good for you, man.
bogey golfer,
That's
right?
perfect. Oh, you're doing better than most. That's amazing. Golf's a hard game, dude, and it's so funny that you say that because, I mean, to show up on a golf course and to have pars your first round ever, you're sitting in the top 5, 7% of golfers, right? And people think that, oh, the top 5% are shooting 70s, which is bullshit. Top, I think maybe 2 to 3% are shooting 70s. Top 5, 10% are shooting around between 85 and 95, right? And so that is, to me, golf is one of those games that it does not matter where you come from or how good you think you are. It'll humble the absolute shit out of you.
Yeah,
and, and and it does it to everybody. I
yeah.
don't even Tiger Woods has had quite a few moments where he was even humbled, but man, that is so cool that you had some instruction as a kid, or at least some basic knowledge of, okay, this is available to me.
Yeah,
I know golf is there. Obviously, I don't have the information to understand it, but I at least know that it's available.
yeah.
And then you finally got your opportunity, and then not only that you got your opportunity, you prevailed in it, and now it's part of your lifestyle. And so now when you have meetings of these people that you're doing digital marketing with, are you trying to create a situation where you don't just talk on the phone? You'd be like, "Hey, let's go play some golf. Maybe we can figure out what's wrong with your website that way." Or if you're meeting with someone about AI stuff or whatever you're doing business wise, how
It's
have you connected that with golf yet? Or
it's a good question, and then there's a couple of instances in where golf does play a role in the business. I've
yeah,
actually met 2 of my clients on the golf course, right?
okay, there you go.
And I tell them what I do. They're not necessarily in my industry or like a perfect client of mine, but they're like, "Hey, well, could you work with my company? Like one's a chiropractor, one's a like a transportation specialist." So yeah, dude, I can help you with your ads and your SEO and your website, basic stuff, right?
Right, right.
So so yeah, I met 2 of them that way. And we talked about golfing. We haven't really golfed too much, right? And but some of my clients do golf, and we don't really go to talk business. We go just to golf. We just kind of get close and say, "Hey, you guys want to go golfing? Let's go golfing," right? And
Yeah,
so
right. Yeah.
we just go golfing. We talk a little bit of business on the course, but we're having fun. And yeah, I would say
Well,
that that's
I,
what golf goes.
I yeah, and I was gonna say, I think to me, even if you're not talking business, when you do go golfing with somebody, you can see who they are as a person, what
Yeah,
kind of integrity they hold themselves. And
yeah,
so in reality, even if you're not talking business, you're at least finding something out about that person that
yeah.
will give you trust into knowing, okay, if I do have to talk business with them down the road, I've learned a lot from them based upon how our situations on the golf course. And
Dude,
that's
totally. That I
right.
would say one of the biggest things I would say that I look for and I really value in people is how they handle a loss or a bad situation. If they duff a ball or if they do some big mistake or miss a putt or something, a lot of them they get so pissed, right? Like,
Right.
"Fuck." And then you could tell it affects their mood and they're like, "Oh, man," right? Some people they like, "Hey man, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm happy
100%.
to be here. Let's keep it going." I just met some guy, Bill, from the country club, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
he just joined and I played with him last week. And dude, this guy, such a positive, very analytical person. And it was really awesome to see. He messed up a shot and he's like, "What did I do there? I wonder what I think I know what I did." Right. And so he really good attitude and he's analyzing what he did. Okay, I think I figured out. He didn't let it bother him. And I was like, that's somebody that I want to be around. Thinking about how he can do better. He's not bummed out. He's super positive attitude.
Yeah.
I think that's a winning formula.
Well, and I think you all were the first members of the country club that played together. That's
First
that's
ones.
amazing. So Angel and I, we talked about this earlier. We're like the ground floor of this country club that a guy named Cameron Tennant, which I interviewed him on a previous show, he has created, and we think it's absolutely genius because it's an online, like I said before, it's an online country club. And Angel met with a member, Bill, and they played golf. And so that to me was breaking the ice of getting two country club members together because you all are from the same area, you live somewhat nearby, and somehow met through an online situation and ended up creating a connection that way. And so the country club has people all over the world that's a part of it. So I think down the road we'll eventually, once it gets bigger and we have the resources, we'll start to all fly into one area and hang out. But what got you so intrigued by joining the country club? What was the one thing that you said, okay, this is something that I want to be a part of?
I would say I had already gotten 2 clients from golf, and it had been fairly recent that had happened, and I remember
Mhm.
thinking, "Hey, you know what? Golf, like, I think I'm gonna start to go and book solo rounds instead of inviting my friends, but I think I'm gonna go out of my way to go book solo rounds so I can meet people." And I was starting to think, I've been meeting cool people. I got 2 clients. Good stuff can come out of this. And then
Right.
so when I saw that, the country club thing, I was like, that could be a way to streamline that. And I could
Yeah.
keep meeting more people that are in business, that are on the same pathway. And let's see what this is about. Cameron explained it. And I go, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And let's do it. I just
Yeah.
signed up. And
Oh,
then,
that's okay. It's
yeah,
And that makes total sense because in your line of work, digital marketing, you to me have a very specific skill. I wouldn't say specific, more of a broader range of skill, but your skill is very catered to the modern world now with how social media is and how everything's behind a screen. So maybe the younger generations growing up in it, they'll end up becoming somewhat savvy in some of the aspects to where your job becomes limited. But then again, a lot of people are so busy with life that if we want to advertise or we want to do something and we want to do it efficiently, people of your caliber can really help somebody get to that next level in their business. And
yeah,
so I think it being in the golf world, meeting these clients that are they're really business savvy or whatever that need sort of attention. It's like peanut butter and jelly for you a
yeah,
way. You can
yeah.
really start to see
For
that
sure.
work out very well for you. So how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 31.
31. So you're the same generation as me. You remember the days before computers or when you were
Yep,
on a desktop.
yep,
It was this massive piece
yep.
of equipment that
I
you would put on
remember.
a desk and all that, right? So a lot of our generation, we are still, most of us are still learning how the internet works. We're still learning how to navigate through this world that has been created before our eyes because when we were growing up, the screens weren't that big of a deal.
Yep.
And now that we are at our age, the screens are becoming 90% of our situation. And so we're having to adapt with this ebbs and flows of the change of our environment. And people like you that have really dove in and did the research and tried to understand what's going on is such an asset to a lot of people, even like myself,
Yeah,
because um I just recently created a website and it's on Lovable and I again, if I ever get big enough and start making real money, somebody like you would be really helpful for me, like as it just at the least of a consultant,
yeah,
because you
yeah,
know what people want and you know what looks good and you know what can actually attract the market that I need or that anybody needs really. And that's why it's so interesting for me to hear what you're doing because I'm assuming AI is really starting to become a forefront of your workplace.
has to be, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, man, these are tools that are making everything way easier for everybody to do, right? Like,
Yes.
you just made your website where before in the past, it would be a lot harder. You'd have to go on, like, a drag and drop builder. You could still build it yourself, but that
Oh,
level.
it would look like shit probably, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
oh,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, so it's making it it's breaking the it's thinning out the barrier to entry, right? Not that there's ever really been a barrier, but it's just making it easier and easier and easier, right? It's a tool that's there that's making it easier. I'm using it for myself and for my clients, and there's gonna be people that don't really know the industry, and they're gonna start using it, and I think it's awesome. I think it's great, right? It's gonna be just a tool that helps everybody, right? And things are gonna shift, and you just gotta stay curious. You just gotta stay learning new things and how it can get better. Just keep doing it, right? Like YouTube's been out for a long time. Google's been out for a long time, and there's all these guides to how to do things, right? Out there,
Yeah,
on how to do pretty much anything, but people don't go and research and do it, right? Because they don't want to do it. So these tools are going to make it easier for people that want to do it, right? Like you wanted to go build a website and you put in the time and effort to go use the tool to do it,
right,
right?
right.
If Lovable wasn't a thing, you probably still would have done it with something else. It just wouldn't have been as good, right?
Yeah, right.
And so there's still going to be a need for people that know how to use this well, right? Use AI well, use the tools well. There's a wrench. Everybody can use a wrench, but only skilled people know how to use this wrench well.
Yes,
So
yes. That is very well said. That in essence, you're having to learn about all this stuff as it progresses.
yeah,
That way, when people, even if they think they can create something and yet the results are not panning out to what they feel like they should,
right,
then that's when you step in and say, I have the research, I have the knowledge, I have the experience. Let me tell you what you need and let me show you. It's so funny you say it that way because that's how I work. I'm a golf instructor. My podcast is built around because I got suspended from a professional tournament for using a profanity. And it was a ridiculous situation. And so to me, I wanted to create a voice for people that didn't have one because I feel like in the golf world, there's a huge financial barrier that prevents access to play professionally. And so that's what created my situation. Outside of this brand, I teach lessons, I play professionally, I caddy. So I'm very heavily invested in the golf business. And what's so interesting to me is the way you go about your digital marketing situation, how you're always evolving, figuring out stuff, thinking about what's the next thing, always staying ahead of the curve. In the golf world, there's all these new theories and new ideas that come out. Not only that, there's a lot of teachers that will almost band-aid your swing because, in my opinion, they're not trying to find the core issue of what's wrong. They just want an immediate fix so that you feel satisfied off gate and that you come back to them when it fails.
right,
But like you said, the way I want to, or at least we'll pan this back to me, the way I try to teach is I think of it more as like a consultant where I give you this path that you have to go down that is the surgery that you need to actually fix your problem. And I love when people go on YouTube or they go on these like Golf Tech even. I actually caddied for the guy who owns that Golf Tech. Yeah, his name's Joe Ossel. Yeah, he's from Cherry Hills in Denver. I wouldn't say he's the nicest guy. He's fine. He means well. He treated me well. And so the way you go about your situation at work and the way I'm teaching golf is so similar because I'm more or less guiding you down this path of what you need to do. And if you want to put in the work and do all that with all these new tools that are coming out and all this new accessibility, that is
right.
great. That is what I want you to do. But if you need somebody with experience and that will really show you the way that you need to go that will fix your problems, then you would come to me. But in essence, I don't want to run a business model to where you become dependent on me. If
Right,
anything, I want to run a business model where I can show you how to do things and do stuff a certain way to where you become independent from me.
right.
Because the more I can create those sort of molds and those sort of ideas, then there's gonna be more and more people that are gonna wanna come to me because they'll know they'll get the truth, and then they'll also know that they're gonna get advice that can figure out on themselves, and so
Yeah,
then that makes them more motivated to come to me. And I just feel like you are very similar to that, where these new tools that are coming in, where we have people building websites and we have people that are interested in figuring out some digital marketing things, but yet they don't have any experience about it. They go to somebody like you and you say, okay, well, yeah, this is your situation. This is A, B, and C. Let me know if you need anything else. And then once they realize that they're getting legit advice, then you start getting more and more people being like, hey, go to
Yep,
Angel because he's
yep.
just going to tell you what it is. Then you start to create this culture around you that is productive. And that to me is the best way of going about it.
I love that, man, and that gave me an idea, a reinforcing idea that somebody gave me recently,
Yeah.
and and so what I'm taking from what you just said is that our true core intention is that we wanna help people,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
that's our true core intention, and
Yes.
we're not gonna sell out and hold back somebody's growth for our revenue, right?
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're saying other people do that. So yeah, I totally agree with you. And we do that because we don't operate in fear. We know that we can provide value to people. And if we can provide that, that's what matters. If we make money, amazing, right? But if we can help people, we can provide value to people, that's what matters, right? And
Yes.
I don't think I'm scared that I'll be able to one day not be able to do that because I know forever I'll be able to provide value to anybody because I'm trying to help people, and
Yeah.
so will you, right?
Yeah.
There's these
Yeah.
tools out there, and there's these things that you can do, but you're going about it the right way, and you're working towards helping people become better golfers, and you're using all the best tools that are available, and people are gonna see that, and if you can't help them anymore, they're gonna be a raving fan, and they're gonna be your best marketing source because they're gonna there's no better marketing than a raving fan referral, right?
Yes.
Is that you help
Yes.
go from a 20 handicap to a 10 handicap because you gave them the true concept of what's actually going to make them better. If I help a company, if I implement all these systems, like all these remarketing techniques, all these paid ads, and a company is doing it on their own and they're successful, now they're in the tens of millions of dollars because of something that I helped them build. Come on, you're going to tell me that I'm not going to succeed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Beyond that?
Oh, that's you're gonna succeed more because
Yes.
of that, because that
Yeah.
company is going to then they're gonna be your biggest fan, like you
Yeah.
said, and now you're getting advertising strictly not because of you pushing ads or whatever, you're
Right.
getting word of mouth advertising because of the quality of the product that you're providing,
Absolutely.
right? And
Yes.
that is I feel like in any world you go in, I don't care if you're knitting sweaters, it
Yes.
as long as it's got it and it's so funny, I think intentions. The
Yeah.
word intention and that is to bring that back to golf, you can really see somebody's intention and their integrity by how they play. If I miss a 3-foot putt and I go dark for 7 holes and I don't talk to anybody, then you think, "Okay, this dude can't handle resistance very well, yada, yada, yada. Maybe I shouldn't do business with them." Or if they miss a 3-foot putt and they're like Bill, and they're thinking, "Oh, hey, how can I figure out how to prevail through this situation?" And so then they end up more curious about what they did is wrong and how to fix it. Then you're thinking, "Man, this is the type of guy I could do business with
Yeah.
because I trust them knowing where their intentions are."
Right. That
Right?
he'll take challenges with an open mind and
Yeah.
ready to overcome them, right? When as opposed to somebody who's like, "Oh my gosh, we got this issue. What the hell are we gonna do? Let's solve the problem."
Oh, man.
Like, it's like if you give somebody a lesson, they come back the next day, "Bro, you just messed up my swing, dude. Like, imagine you had that. Like,
Oh,
that's
I've well, and that's when I do give a lesson, we'll give an example. Say, okay, you have a guy, this might be kind of new, or no, we'll say, so if you see someone swinging outside to in, right? I'm sure you've heard that. It's an
yeah,
outside to in,
yeah,
it's a steep downswing. They hit these little fades and they can't
yeah,
figure out, and their contact is shit,
yeah,
yada, yada, yada. And so, what I always tell people in that situation is, okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start with the very primitive thought of obviously you need to swing in to out. That's the
yeah,
end goal. We need to swing
yeah,
more inside to out. We need to
yeah,
strike the inside of the ball. But I can't just tell you to do that and things will work. We have
yeah.
to build on this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's focus on the fundamentals first. Okay, you got a decent stance, you got a decent knee bend, your arms are hanging below your shoulders. We'll just leave it at that.
I
And
hear
then,
you.
yeah, just a good foundation. Okay. And then
Yeah.
from there, I'll look at basic stuff like how's your turn? Are you turning enough? Where's your club face? Is it open? Is it closed at the top? What's going on? And so what I'll usually do is I'll give somebody, okay, hey, you're swinging out to in because you're so crouched, your hips are flexed, and your club face is open. So
Mhm.
what we need to do is we need to stand taller so you can have a bigger turn. That bigger turn will get your hand path more deeper. So that way when you turn back down, your hands don't have to drop. They can
Right.
just ride
Right.
down the
Naturally.
line.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then I'll say, hey, and at first, what we need to do is we need to get your grip stronger, or we need to change your wrist conditions at the top to make the club face a little bit more shut. So that way, when you do swing that out, it'll match the path. And so, what will happen is we'll work on the basics and then we'll have one swing thought that pertains to all this. And I'll tell them, okay, you need to start seeing shots that go way left because now you have an out to in path, but your club face is more square. So now the club face is matching the path. And so if your path is too far one way, then that's where the club ball is going to go. But that's a good thing. That's what you want because now you have the availability to force yourself to swing inside out. Now we can say, okay, since we have A, B, and C done, now let's swing inside to out. Okay, now if you swing too far inside out and it starts to hook, now we can go back to base level and we
Yeah.
can figure it out. But to me, I'm not going to just tell you to, okay, put the ball up in your stance and drop that right shoulder down. Yeah,
Right.
you're good. No,
Yeah.
I want to tell you what your progression is, what
Yeah.
you're going to be going through, what things need to change. And
Yeah.
if you put in that work and then you end up in that crossroad, like I tell you, hey, now you're hooking the ball too much. This is when you come back to me and
Yeah.
and we'll get back to a base level and we'll start to figure out the next 5 or 6 steps you can
Uh,
do from there. And then if you end up at 5, 6 months down the road, you end up at a crossroad again, then you can come back to me. Then we'll kind of find some base level and go from there. But I don't ever want to just tell you a simple thought and then it
yeah.
works immediately, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, "Dude, I'm back. What are
Because
we
you don't
doing?"
understand the fundamentals.
I want you to understand. Yes, and if the more I can get you to understand the golf swing, and it's not even the golf swing, it's your golf swing.
Yeah.
This is what's beautiful about golf, dude. You don't have to be 6'5" and black to play golf. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make
I've
fun
definitely
of
noticed
the
that.
NBA.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm not saying white people aren't good enough. My bad. It's not that. It's my point is in golf, there's so many different ways of playing it, and there's so many personalities, and there's so many athletic abilities that can really
Yep.
doesn't they can just be a part of golf, right? And so a really good teacher tries to figure out your best way of swinging the club. They don't try to figure out the best way to swing the club. They try to figure out what's best for you. And everybody has such different ideas and they have different flexibility points. And for an
Dude.
example, if you have a guy that has a hip problem, okay, now we gotta base a swing around that. And sure, it might not look the prettiest, but this dude will shoot even par on you. And you would think this dude could not. But in golf, it's
Yeah.
not just about athletic ability. It's there's so many other elements there. And so as a golf instructor, we have to be very subjective to the individual,
Yep.
right? And so I think a really good golf instructor tries to create your swing for you and that in hopes that you can find your best version of yourself, right?
Dude, that's so good.
Yeah, and so to me, I think down the road, it's more or less if you do change your swing or you're trying to fix on something, and within the first 5 to 10 minutes of doing it, if there's not this aha moment where, boom, okay, that I wanna repeat that shit. I'm gonna figure out how to
Yeah.
repeat that. I don't know what that was, but
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're on the right path. you're
Yeah.
you're destined if you sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours, and you're constantly
Yeah.
hitting shit shots and it's not
Yeah.
working, whatever that person told you or whatever thought that you tried to exercise is it's not it.
Not for
And I
you.
feel like it's like that with business. You
Hold that thought. I gotta use the restroom. Be right back.
Oh, you're good, dude. You're back. I love it. Oh, dude, well, it's like, we were talking about earlier, when you have a friend, something about it. I'm not saying family's not that way, unless you have a family member that you all are really close, but man, when you have a friend that you spent time with and you went through the trenches with and that y'all did shit together and that person dies, dude,
Yeah.
it just hits way different.
Super
It
rough.
it
Yeah.
is. It is. I had a few buddies, in high school. Yeah, none of my best friends or anything, but these are guys I partied with. I mean, we did a lot of drugs together, and man, yeah, and it's just it hits different, dude. It just hits different. It's no words can really describe it. It's just one of those things where, okay, I got to learn to live with this, and whatever happens after that, we'll go day by day, and if it gets better, great. If it doesn't, then I'm not going to quit. So some days are good and some days are not.
Totally.
Right? This just is what it is. And I think people who have experienced death understand that it's this hole in your heart or wherever your
That's really
brain.
that's a really good thing. A really good way of saying it. And I was just gonna say is you lose a little piece of you that you can never
Yep.
get back,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
And for the longest time, I felt grief of being abandoned.
Oh yeah.
Fucking left me here, bro. I kept
Yeah. Right. Like what are you doing? Where are you? Yeah. Oh my
left me
God.
here, bro. Like it's fucked up.
Well, and then what's super interesting of that is then you start using that grief and anger as motivation.
Yeah.
And then as you progress through those feelings and you get to the end of that, you're almost in a way, I don't want to say thankful, but it makes you realize, okay, well, maybe there was a little bit of light there. I'm not saying there was a lot, but at least I have this now. And sure, I wish that person was still here, but man,
It's like missing that bad shot in golf. It's like, well, at least you can see the good in it. Like now I can see the good in why I made that bad shot, or like
yeah,
a
right.
little something bad happened. Let's try to see try to get something good out of it, right?
Let's be like Bill, huh? Have you ever played in a golf tournament before?
I did once.
How did it go?
It was amazing, bro. One of the best. So I loved it so much. It changed golf for me and gave
Okay.
me a different perspective. And I loved it, loved it, loved it. So it was a handicap tournament. So your handicap, it's a USGA. That's when I got my official USGA like GIN number, right?
Oh, no shit. So it was a USGA event.
It was a USGA. It was a club close to me called Short Cliffs. Not a club. It's a golf like course. I don't know if it was a municipal or something, but it's Short Cliffs, right? And
Okay.
in San Clemente, and I saw the event on their website, like when I was gonna book looking for a tea time, and I was like, "Oh, that seems interesting." It was 100 and something bucks. A tea time there is 80 bucks normally. It's not even that much different from a regular tea time, and it's by handicap, and you get paired up in your handicap groupings. Dude, I think I played pretty good for my handicap, and that sounds really exciting to do, but I was also nervous, and I was like, "Whatever, who cares if I do bad? What do I have to
Yeah.
lose out of?" I paid just a little bit more, and they're gonna feed me. I'm pretty much just paying for dinner and going to play golf, and maybe I'll meet cool people. Nothing but good's gonna come out of this. I got my gin number, and I played in this tournament. They put me down. I had just gotten my gin thing, and I had played a few rounds, and I was playing really good, and so they put my handicap as like a 15. 15 or 15 and a half, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
and it's like, whatever. It is what it is. They put me as a 16. They put me as a
Yeah.
16. And it is what it is. They put me as a 16. I shot a 14 that day, dude. I shot a 14 plus 14, and I was like trying really hard to just play conservative. I played like a bitch, bro. Like super conservative. Like I took out my driver in this very narrow fairways where it's super narrow where they meet, you're losing a ball. And I'm like, dude, if I just I know everybody else is losing balls here. If I just don't lose balls, I think I'll
Yeah.
be all right. And I
Yeah.
can drive pretty far. So my drive is my high risk, high reward shot. If I can just mitigate that and just putt with my freaking driver, I'll get 220 yarders down the middle, and that's what I was doing. And I hated it because it was super fucking boring. I couldn't bomb, and And it's funny because I got 3rd place, right? Yeah,
Wow.
and it was the last hole. I had gained all this confidence. I was swinging my driver like this, just
Yeah,
getting
just enough to get it.
just 200 down the middle, and everything else was working for me, and I think that was my strategy throughout the whole game, and it was working. It was working. And at a certain point, it was a wide open fairway, like hole 17 or hole 18.
Yeah,
And I was like, dude, I got a wide open fairway. I've been hitting all my drives good money. And this is like long holes, like a 400 yards. I'm gonna bomb this bitch. And
yeah.
so I go for a fucking bomb and I hit a fade and then it went out of bounds and I lost my ball. And fuck, that sucks. But whatever, it is what it is. And then I went on with that round. And if it wasn't for that right there where I
Yeah.
deviated from my strategy, I would have took the whole thing first place.
No shit.
I was down by 2 strokes.
Okay, dude.
Yeah.
So that's so funny about tournaments. It's amazing when you go practice, even when you go play with your boys, then you go play a tournament.
Yeah.
It's a different ball game.
Yeah.
And I always call it the element of consequence. And that element of consequence when you're playing with the boys or even hitting range balls, it's not there. It
No,
doesn't exist. But the
no.
minute you get to a tournament, it shows up and all of a sudden it's okay, I got to hit this shot. And if I don't, I fuck up. And then it becomes a snowball effect or there's something where I'm having to hyper focus. And I'm never
Totally.
having to
You're like
hyper focus. Yeah, it's amazing, man. And
yeah.
I can tell you,
You have to calm down. You have to learn to, like, breathe,
oh, oh
and you have
yeah.
to learn to breathe. Just another day playing golf, baby. Let's go, and to keep that positive energy, and that's what kept me my cart mate, sometimes that's when I said earlier, sometimes you get paired up with, like, perfect person. My cart
Mhm.
mate, chill as fuck. The other cart that was with us, the other part of our foursome, we were on the fairway, the guy's like, "Hey, can you guys be quiet over there?" Not even being loud and he was taking it so fucking seriously, and he played like shit, right? And he was like, "Can you, like, not be behind me while I'm shooting?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, sorry." Was just looking at I was looking at the line. I didn't know that that wasn't allowed. Just a stickler, right? And but the guy next to me was just positive. I was positive, and it was just another game. Like, if I play good, I play good. If I play bad, I play bad, and I ended up playing really good, right?
Yeah, right on. Oh,
Yeah.
that's fascinating. Well, and it's amazing that the tournaments are a different breed. And the more you want to get better at them, the more you have to play them. Really,
How
that's
do
the
you
only.
How do you find those tournaments? Because, dude, I wanna play more.
Yeah. Well, what you can do is go to courses that are nearby, figure out if they have any local stuff.
So just go to
Um,
each course and look for their tournaments to see if they
Yeah, you can ask you can maybe go on their websites even, they might have a tournament schedule. There's a tournament or there's a circuit called the, Am Tour. It's on the Golf Channel. You can try that.
Golf Channel?
Just type in Golf Channel Am Tour,
Okay.
and they should have a little circuit down where you're at. You might have to travel a couple hours here and
But
there.
it's fine. But is it, like, based off of your handicap?
Yeah, that's what the Am part is, it's amateur, so they have handicap it's just called flights. So you'll be in a certain flight based upon your handicap. And so what you can also do is these clients that you have, if they're members at country clubs, you can try to sneak in on their member guests and shit.
How does that work?
So, well, if do you have a good buddy that's a member at a country club?
I have a buddy who's a member at Arroyo Trabuco, which is not a
Okay.
country club, it's just a, like, golf course.
Well, yeah, you can always ask if they have little member guests or they have tournaments that way too. But if you want to do like high level amateur golf, yeah, you would need to do some sort of am tour on the Golf Channel. You can just type in Southern California amateur golf tournaments on Google and see
Okay.
what you come up with. And it's now the USGA part, that's maybe not everything's USGA and there might be some tournaments where they're not as serious, which would be nice actually. That'd be fun. But as an amateur, what you're doing is you're gonna pay money for a tournament just for the experience, and usually the winners will get something in the pro shop, um, maybe a trophy with a gift basket that has a bunch of gift cards. They won't
Yeah.
get the actual cash
Yeah.
back.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine. I don't give a shit about the cash. Like, I'm
Yeah,
there
right? Oh,
there
then
for the experience. Yeah, for the experience, play golf, and,
yeah, you would that
if I
the,
get a dinner or a free round or something,
yes, that's
fuck
usually what they'll do. Or like
yeah.
a driver, maybe
I don't
some irons or
right,
something.
like, a
Oh,
trophy would
yeah.
be cool. Put a little trophy right here.
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, you'll love that. Trying to think if there's anything else that you could do.
I know I'm not
That's
going pro, but I love the fact that it's handicap based, so everybody has a fair chance. You play good golf, you could win this fucking thing.
yes. The handicap system is phenomenal because it levels the playing field.
It's I used to play in a pool league. So,
Oh,
I would say that that's probably how I really dialed in my mindset when it comes to golf, is
yes.
through pool, right? Pool is very similar in a sense of you gotta control your brain, at least when you're in competitive mode.
Yeah.
You have a shot you can make, you make this shit all day, but it's a high pressure 8-ball shot. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that 8-ball shot's, like, hard as shit. Like, like, it's, like, moving like this and, like, you're like, "Oh, shit." Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Is there handicaps in pool?
There is.
No
There's
shit.
skill level. Yeah, 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 there's skill level, at least in, uh there's different leagues that have different scoring systems. The one I was in was APA, right? American Pool Association, I think,
Yep.
and and, uh, and so, yeah, you start off, like, as a 3, right? And then based off how you do your first night, they'll bump you up right away or they'll bump you down, but you typically start as a 3, then you work up your way to a 4, and then a 5, then a 6,
Oh,
and then there's 7. And then I think 8 and 9, at least in 9 ball. In 8 ball, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then
is it based on, like, the average amount of balls you hit per turn?
yeah. Yeah, so in 9 ball and 8 ball, it's like in 8 ball, it's about the whole rack. In 9 ball, it's about each ball is a point,
Yep.
right? So if in 9 ball, you're just like, just killing all these balls and you just like, other guy gets, like, a little bit of balls, you just make all your balls, right? Each skill level, you have to make less amount of balls to win, right? Like 30 balls as a level 3, and then as you're a level 4, then it's like 46, and then it gets like to 50, then the 60s, and when you're a 9, you have to make like 80 something, 90 something balls, and
Holy shit.
so it's funny because when you play up against a 2 low level player, they only have to make 14 balls or something like that, right? So 2 racks pretty much. If
Yeah.
they have to only make 2 racks worth of balls, and you have to make racks or something, like
Oh, yeah, so okay.
you have to be on, right? And then
Yeah,
you just have to win a couple racks and they'll win, right?
yeah, oh, yeah. Oh,
But it's
that's
fun.
fascinating. I think bowling has handicap too.
Bowling's
Um,
very similar. Yeah,
yeah, right, yeah. Bowling's making a comeback, I think. It was a dead sport in my opinion professionally, but I've been seeing a lot more on the internet watching these people bowl, and it's a cool game. It's funny that these sports like golf, pool, bowling, even ping pong. Now, I was a basketball player growing up, and I played for a 5A high school point guard.
wow.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll, man. And boy, when you had adrenaline rushes and you had all this adrenaline on a basketball court, you could just let that shit out.
Yeah.
You right? Just yeah, you just stole the ball from me. I'm about to run behind you and pin your
Yeah.
shit off this backboard, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right? But in golf, when you're standing on that 3rd tee box after the 2nd hole, you make a bogey or whatever, and you're standing on that 3rd tee box and you're pumping. You can't just, "I'm gonna swing as hard as I fucking can." I don't
Yeah.
know this shit. And that's something I fight when I play in tournaments. I tend to I call them adrenaline dumps. And when I have these adrenaline dumps, man, I have to work on my breathing techniques and I have to let things go. And I didn't really understood what that meant until I got older. And I always call it the art of not giving a shit.
I love that.
It's one of the hardest arts to achieve, but once you can achieve that art in sports like golf and pool and all that become
Yeah,
very because you get in your own way
totally.
when you try too hard.
Well, there's balance to it, and I learned this in pool, and my dad's still in the league, so I'm coaching him a little bit with mindset portion at least. And there's balancing act that you have to play on the course or when you're in those high performance modes and in performance mode. And
Yes.
there's caring too much, but then there's also caring not enough, right? Like,
100%.
right? And so you have to find that balancing act, right? And that's where
Yes.
you find your state of flow. And if you don't try enough, you're not thinking enough about the shot, you're not visualizing the shot, you're like, I'm not caring. And
Yeah,
well, that sucks. I need to pay more attention. Okay,
yeah,
focus. And then you focus and you do better. And then sometimes you can over focus. And then
yeah,
so you have to find that sweet spot, right?
yeah, that's amazing. That is so well said. That is I've always said the golf game is like a seesaw, where if you put too much pressure on one side, then the other side's lifted, then you keep running back and forth until and it's like the golf swing's the same way. You can really swing too far in to out or too far out to in, and then it
Yeah.
becomes you have to find this that is one of the biggest elements of golf is balance.
Yeah.
And not only just with golf swing technique, with mental technique, with a lot of things in golf. But to think of it as a like the ebbs and flows of emotions and the amount of energy you put into something, one is particular to the individual, but two, it is very important to not put too much or not put not enough.
Oh, have the self-awareness to know
Yes.
where you're at right now. Am I not putting in enough or am I putting in too much? Do I need to relax?
Oh, that's so good. And to tie this in with business stuff, right? Um, if you're creating a website and you have somebody who has really specific outlooks on things, and therefore you're having to do things and it's like trying to tell a tattoo artist how to draw. You're having to do things sort of out of your element,
Yeah.
and therefore when you're doing this, sometimes you can overdo it, and then they don't want that, and then you can get caught half-assing the situation because you're just tired of failing. And
Yeah.
so when you get into these situations in business, it's it's hard to find that consistent motivation to sometimes prevail through that. Like you said, you have to you have to become one, find the best you can and let things sort of come to you, but you have to care a little bit too. You can't just not care at all. So, I feel like in business you see that a lot, especially with what you're doing because you have people that have a certain idea of what they want, and then you try to tie in what you want, and then if those things don't match, then you have to figure out what's the best for both of you, and then sometimes you could care too much about what something is, and they cannot care enough, or it could be the other way around, and then you're sort of balancing what they want to what you want, and like you said, it becomes this ebbs and flows situation, and really good business people, they tend to be able to find that perfect happy medium that works for not only them, but for you, because you don't want a shitty product out there that represents you, but yet you don't wanna take it to such a level where they don't feel like their product at all.
I struggled with that early in my career
Yeah,
where I was just kind of listening to what the client want. And at a certain point, I had to learn to not be such a pushover, right? Not just do what the client wanted because I had already done that enough times where I did what the client wanted. We didn't get the right result and they're gonna blame me for
yeah,
it, right?
yeah,
Like, I didn't get the right result. And I could be like, well, it's your fault because you didn't listen to me. And I just have to tell them in the beginning, this is what works. You hired me because I'm an expert. Let me be the expert. I understand you have your preferences, but you gotta trust me on this,
yeah,
right?
yes, right? Yeah, it's and to tie that in with the golf swing, it's the same thing I deal with when I'm teaching people. "Hey, I know this doesn't feel right off the get-go, but this is the path you have to take." Same for you in business, like, "Hey, this is where we have to go. This is how things have to be. We can cater it to what you want, but at the same time, you're gonna have to learn some things too. Obviously,
Yeah.
if you knew all this, I wouldn't be here."
Yeah, it is.
So we're gonna find a balancing act between what I feel like is best and what you want, and we'll find that ebbs and flows in the middle, and
Yeah,
hopefully we can create something that's beneficial for both of us, right?
yeah, yeah.
So it is very fascinating how golf and life are so parallel to each other, and I think that's why people become infatuated with golf because it really is a small version of life. It's a very specific game that has a huge outlook. I don't wanna say outlook, it's a game, but it reveals parts of you that you might not know that you needed to be revealed, and that those revelations can help you in life.
Like, I would say one thing that I do, like, I don't envy about your situation is that you're doing it professionally. So when you said
That's so overrated,
no,
so overrated.
what I'm saying is that, like, I can go and I have really no like, if I shoot bad or good that day, I'm having a blast. When you're playing professionally, you have this Cameron talks about this right now, and I'm not fully on board. I know I need to get on board if I wanna take this seriously, but having your goals, your mini goals, and I don't wanna make this not fun, right? And I'm putting in the effort, and I'm training, and I'm taking lessons, and I'm doing this, and I'm getting better, but, like, I don't wanna have an expected outcome because
Mhm.
if I don't get it, I'm gonna be disappointed, and when I went to the tournament, I was okay with going last. I mean, doing this for fun, but I got totally happy about it,
Yeah,
right? And so but when you're a professional, you don't really have the luxury of not caring, right?
that's
Like
so true. I have a hard time I've had to learn recently to play with my buddies that are 16, 18 handicaps, and if I have a bad hole, I'll sometimes go dark for 4 or 5 holes, and I have to be quiet because 'cause I'm
uh,
trying to hyper focus and get back on schedule, and people are like, "Well, why do you care so much?" And I'm telling them, "Hey, I grew up playing golf since I was 7. I have shot as low of rounds of 62, okay? I'm not saying that's what I expect every time I play, but to me, it's really hard for me to turn that off. It's like a guy who went to war. I don't wanna compare golf to war, by the way, it's
nope.
nowhere close to that,
Yeah, but
but
I get where you're coming from. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like a guy who went to war and then you expect him just to shoot guns for fun. It's
Yeah,
gonna be really hard for that dude to just think,
to just chill,
"We're
right?
just chilling shooting guns, man." This to me, I feel like, "Hey, dude, I'm used to" I don't even say it call it war. How about hunting big game
Yeah,
and
and then now you're
averaging
shooting squirrels, right?
now you're shooting squirrels. The guy is not gonna feel enthused to be, "Yeah, this is a lot of fun." No,
Yeah,
it's so true because when playing in high level tournaments, when you're around players that are really good and you're having to shoot a number just to prevail, the adrenaline rush and the nervousness you have becomes addicting.
I can see that. I can
Dude,
see that. Like,
I
when you're in this tournament, I just, like, shoot my best game possible, every game's a new fresh shot. That was my perspective, right?
Right.
Like, and just stay in flow. But that's that tournament. I know that there's some tournaments where you know what you have to shoot, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like that would have been way more nerve-wracking if I
Mm.
knew, like, what the score was,
Oh,
and if
yeah.
I was on a hole 18 or 17 knowing that I have to hit this to
Yes.
win, that would
No,
have
I
been a whole other level that I've
no.
never experienced, right? I was blind the whole time till the end. I had no clue if I was gonna be in last place or first place, right?
Okay. Well, that's hey, that's exactly it's called to me, I always call it the element of consequence. And when you start to heighten that element, it becomes more prevalent where your emotions are and what's required of you. And there's been many times where I'm going down 16 and I have to birdie 2 out of the last 3 holes just to make the cut. And I don't have a choice. Right? Yeah.
Have you done it? Like,
Yeah, I've done it a few times. Oh yeah. I mean I've birdied a hole to barely make the cut on the 18,
ah, I bet
par
that felt
5. Well, it's just but see, that's the shit I love, and I used to hate that, but the more I realize that that's what I live for, because those moments of resistance and those moments of trying times is what's made me appreciate what I have and what I'm capable of doing. That's what created this addiction part because I started
but
to understand the beauty of failure and
yeah,
why failing is okay,
yeah,
because failing isn't about the failure, it's about simply having that opportunity to begin with. The fact
yeah,
that I
like
even got that opportunity is more than anything to me, and I used to get nervous about that as a kid because you're playing high school golf and you're playing in these tournaments and you're trying to get a scholarship to a college. You can't just show up and shoot 78. The colleges don't give a shit, dude. You gotta shoot some even par or better. So when you
wow.
show up to a tournament and you're 3 over through 7 holes and you got 12 holes or 11 holes left, and you're sitting there thinking, I got to be 3 or 4 under to come in just to even give these coaches a chance to look at me. Well, yeah, then it becomes like fuck you mentality. And that's that the warrior mindset. Like golfers are, if they have the ability to fight, they would be some of the best fighters on the planet because their mindset, because it is this fuck you, don't talk to me. I am going to cut your throat off. And if I have to do what I have to do. Now we're talking golf. Okay. It's a
That's
plastic ball.
I've not experienced that. I've not seen that side of golf,
Well,
right?
and you don't have to. Dude, you don't have to. That's where I started the beginning of our conversation. The beauty of golf. It caters to everybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to see that part. And even then, if you want to shoot a certain score, good. Shoot a certain score, do it for yourself. And that's why I love golf so much because it allows you to get this deep in a thought where you have to be a warrior. And that's why some of these people they compare it to war because they see this element of, hey, I have to do this at this moment. If I don't do this, I don't survive.
Got it.
Now, right? Or it can go all the way to the other side of the spectrum where, hey, this is recreation. This is therapy. We're here to play fun. If I hit a couple good shots today, that's all I need. I think a lot of times to me, sometimes I do wish I was more on that other side of the spectrum where I could understand and appreciate just knowing that I have an 8 iron into a flag and I hit the middle of the green fine, and that's all I needed for the day. I
That's cool.
That is cool, and that's the beauty of golf, man. You don't
Yeah.
have to do things in this certain fashion.
Yeah.
You
So
can
cool.
do things however you want, and if and to me, that's why it's such a beautiful game because it gives everybody this opportunity of gratification, no matter the level of the gratification it is. The fact that it gives people that opportunity to even have it is what's essential. And so, what I would give you as an advice, if what are you trying to do? Break 80, break 90? What's your
So yeah, I want to break 80 is my like short-term goal. My lifelong goal in golf is one day I don't have any timeline to it. Like I'm just gonna play golf for the rest of my life. But the day that I shoot a game of even like a full par, I'm
just
gonna be
making?
very happy man, right? Can't wait for myself to be in that moment and realize that I hit that. And
Yes.
I'm gonna really embrace that moment. I'm just really looking forward to that moment. But right now, I am looking to break 80 because I've hit at 80 before, right? But
Okay, so you've already hit 80.
yeah,
Wow. In 2 years,
and
2.5 years of playing, you've already hit 80.
I've hit 80, I haven't broke 80,
Oh,
right?
doesn't matter. The fact that you even hit 80 in 2.5 years, you're already way above schedule. I got buddies that have been playing for 5, 6 years and they can't even touch 80. They barely, I had a buddy of mine. He's been playing for 6 years and his best score he's ever shot is 81. 5 years. And he'll shoot somewhere between 87 and 102 average. And
Yeah,
yeah, sure. But see, and that's the thing I tried telling him. I tell him the same thing I tell you. Or I'm telling you right now is you don't have to do anything. Now,
yeah,
if you want to do something great, you can always figure that out. But in golf, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do shit. All
yeah,
you have to do is do what you feel is necessary in that moment. And if you are super tied into business and you have a lot going on, yeah, you're probably not gonna it's probably not a good time to focus on breaking 80.
yeah,
But
yeah, and that's
hey,
exactly where I'm at right now. Yeah, for sure.
like, just be what
I
it is. If
I'm
you
just
wanna hit
yeah,
some good shots, great, and just knowing down the road, "Hey, now I have another business that's worth 7, 8 figures now. I'm golfing 5, 6 days a week. I'm kinda bored because I don't work as much as I usually do.
yeah.
Okay, well, maybe that's a good time to
Go break 80. I mean,
go."
I shot at 83 or 84, I can't remember, I think 84 at a really hard course not too long ago. So I know it's gonna happen naturally,
Yeah,
and so
100%.
I'm excited for it, and I just get so happy seeing the progression of golf. Something cool always
Yes.
happens when you're out there, you know?
100%. And you learn something about yourself, and to me, what I will always also preach is try new shit. Try
Yeah,
some weird shit. If you go on YouTube or somebody tells you a swing tip or not a swing tip, a shot,
yeah. I'm
and you
trying
wanna
right now I'm trying on the course, like, things I've never practiced before. I
Good.
think I have practiced, like, a couple times, but I'm trying to shape shots right now,
Okay.
like, around
Why not?
trees
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
The last one that I did, I got really close to doing it, and I saw it doing the thing, but I clipped the tree, so I couldn't see the outcome that I wanted to see.
But it
Like,
it was there.
I exaggerated it too much, right? Like,
Okay.
I did too much out to in, right?
Yeah.
Because 'Cause I'm trying to fade it, and I did, like, a stance, what I thought what I needed to do with my stance, like, I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got my stance. I do like a fade, and it was, like, doing the thing, and then they hit the tree. Man, that would've been really satisfying if that happened.
Let's see.
Now I wanna do that.
And that's again, just let it come to you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and don't feel like there's this timeline on
Yeah.
anything. There's not. You know you're gonna play golf the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And if you get older and you don't hit the balls far, move up a tee, man. No one gives a shit about what tee box you're playing. You know that. I know
Yeah.
that. And if people who are out here listening want to worry about your handicap and all that shit, every tee box has a rating.
Yeah.
So I don't care where you're playing from. If you're worrying about your handicap, the rating of the tee box or where you're playing, wherever it is, it rates to the scratch golfer handicap. So therefore, you can, if I'm a +3, which that's what I usually am, that's what I hold, and I go play a front tee box and the rating is 69, well, I have to shoot 66 to maintain my handicap. Well, okay, there's a goal. Sure, I'm not trying to go out there and shoot whatever. If it happens, it happens. But I'm not just playing a forward tee box and thinking that, oh, well, this is super easy, man. You're being a pussy. No, there's still guidelines there. Sure, I might have a lot more wedges in. It would be a pretty fun day for me, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that I still have to shoot a number, right?
Yeah.
If I'm
Yeah.
concerned with that. And so I think this is for you scratch golfers out there, plus handicaps as well. You need to learn this and you need to learn this immediately. First off, when you're playing with your buddies, they don't give a shit what you shoot. Yes, I know you give a shit. They don't. They just want to play and have fun. Now, if you do have a buddy that's competitive and you guys get into a match, great. That's awesome. But at the end of the day, you both really shouldn't give a shit, but just spending time with each other.
Yeah.
Secondly, a scratch golfer, a plus handicap, can learn something from a 15 handicap. And sure, it might not be structure stuff. It might not be specific golf structure in terms of swing and all that. But what you can learn is attitude stuff. When I was a kid growing up and going through college golf and then started turning professionally, I wouldn't play with high handicap people because I was annoyed and I thought it was a waste of my time. And then when I moved to Bandon and I started caddying out here, a lot of my buddies were higher handicaps and I started playing with them. And this is what I learned is I learned how to adjust my attitude accordingly to the environment, which then taught me the reality of the situation. And because of me playing with players that were somewhere between an 8, 9 handicap all the way to a 25 handicap, it taught me how to navigate my emotions better, believe it or not. And that's something I still find to this day so fascinating because sure, they're not gonna tell me anything about golf that I don't already know, and not to mention they're not gonna perform near the level that I perform, but they taught me something much bigger than that. And it's more about the emotional side and more about the reality of the situation because golf, yes, at the end of the day, it is just a plastic ball in a glorified field, and everyone has the capability of playing it. I don't care if you're shanking every ball or if you're hitting hole in ones all the time. It is meant for everybody. And no matter what style or walk of life or what kind of player you are, you can play with somebody that is a lower caliber player or even a higher caliber player. I don't care. You can learn something from everybody, and that is the truth. And I don't care who you are. If some guy that you meet and he's a really good golfer, some plus handicap, and he walks around with a pompous attitude and he feels entitled, then just know that that dude's not as smart as you. Even though he's a better golfer, he doesn't really see the reality of the situation. And that's something I learned, God, probably the last 7, 8 years. and I'm 35 now, so you can only imagine how I was between the ages of 18 to 27, 18 to 26. I was a cunt, dude, right? I thought I felt entitled. I felt, "Hey, I'm better than you because I can hit the ball 310 and I can shoot 68 whenever I want, and you shooting 85s and you're walking around playing this game. I don't feel like you deserve to play because you can't play it at a certain caliber."
Yeah.
Boy, was I humbled. Boy, I got humbled fast on that thing, and so now my mindset's a whole 180 degrees. It's completely different now. I can play with a beginner and I will still enjoy it. And some of my buddies, they'll tell you when they used to play with me when I first got here, I was a dick. It's because I'm playing in these high level tournaments. I've put myself under this pressure and I felt entitled because I did perform on certain stages and yada yada yada. But then you start to realize what the reality of golf is, and I think that to me not only taught me that, it taught me the reality of life, right? And so no matter what walk of life that you're on, no matter what you have done in your life, no matter what how much money you make or what status you have, you can always learn something from the janitor. I don't care who you are. And that's something that I've learned and I've been humbled by that. So to to finish this off and to cater what I'm saying to you, enjoy your journey with golf. Go at your own pace. If you want to learn stuff and you have time, great. And if you just want to play to have fun, you are allowed to do it. And that's the thing is you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is be yourself, and those moments will come. And when you feel the competitive edge to play in a tournament, go play in a tournament. If you feel the need to really break 80 because now your business is worth however much money and you're not having to work as much, let it be. If you want to gain more swing speed and you want to hit the ball far, hell yeah. If you want to
Yeah.
hit the ball shorter and play up a tee, oh yeah. But you
Yeah.
have every right to do what the hell you want.
Yeah. I love that. I gotta have you freaking look at my swing, dude. What does that look like, man? Do you offer like virtual lessons
Well,
or
you just send me a text. So what you can do is I'll give you my number. I'll send you an email with my number on it, and you can just send me a text. Well, I have your number. Wait, we're group chat with fucking Cameron. See, dude, I'm telling you, I got people. This podcast is blown up on me, and I
Dude,
got
really?
9 interviews. It's nuts. I have your number. I'm gonna save your number, and
Yeah.
I'll send you a text. And what you can do, send me a face on, and face on is this swinging
Yeah.
down the line is me down the line. Okay, see
Okay.
how you can see my.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
down the line, you want the camera about 12 feet behind you, 10 to 12 feet behind you, and you want it hand height. So have it about at your waist,
Okay.
okay? And try to match it to where I can see both your feet going down the line.
Okay.
And then what I can do is I can look at your swing, tell you what's going on,
Yeah.
and then we can think of multiple ways of going about your solutions. We can also I can send you some YouTube videos with drills
Cool.
that will get you thinking differently.
Yeah.
I will then, to me, the way I work is I try to diagnose the problem at face value, and then we can find multiple ways and ideas to fix it. I don't want your swing to be in a box. I want it to cater to what you think is best for you because the beauty of golf, again, like I just went on my spiel, it doesn't have to be played a certain way. We just have to find our way of playing it. And that could be very different between you and I and between you and Cameron and between everyone else. Because even me, like Cameron's swing to me, I didn't like the way it looked. And I hope he hears this. But when you put it under a microscope, dude, his swing is nasty good. It's nasty good.
Yeah.
And that's why he's played San Diego State. Now, the look of it, you're thinking, okay, he's really steep. He's got a high hands. Like, that's asking for a back injury. It just doesn't look very good. But then he did a slow mo swing one day. And holy fuck, that is money. That is so good.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I mean,
look great, but that's the beauty of golf, man, and that's why Cameron is there will be a day where I'll have to play with Cameron and that Philip Darst, he's a great you talk about a stud, that dude is a stud, and if we get this golf tournament going or a golf group where we're at a hotel or we're at some resort playing golf for 3 or 4 days and we all try to play golf with each other. There's gonna be a group where it's just gonna be me, Cameron, Philip, and that, like, Matt Saporin guy, and we're just gonna have a fucking battle. Just a battle,
Oh,
but it'll be so much.
you guys better record that whole thing, dude. I wanna that's
Oh,
gonna
dude.
be
Well,
fun.
and there would be you're looking at 4 different walks of life, 2 guys from Southern California, 1 dude from Alabama, and me from North Carolina. So we have all these walks of life, and we've all learned golf our own way, and we've invested so much time and energy to it to where we all think that we know it all, and so we're just gonna be like, "Fuck you, I'm beating your ass today."
Yeah,
But I love those moments, and in
that's
all fairness, I would be especially competing against Matt and Philip, that would take all I have of me. So,
well, doesn't the handicap take an effect?
when you turn scratch and you're in the pluses and you're a +2 and that guy's a +4, we're not playing with strokes. It's just straight up, I'm ready, we're going at it. Like, if I played against a guy on the PGA Tour, I would not ask for strokes. No way.
Like,
Tiger Woods, dude, I would not ask for strokes.
what do he wanna give you strokes to make it competitive?
Fuck that. I wanna beat his ass down straight up. Why? No. Hell no. I mean, yes, it would be more than likely he would if it came down to a technical point, yes. Because a
Yeah,
lot of these guys on tour, so when you're a plus handicap, that means you add strokes instead of taking them away. So
right.
you're a 16, so you would minus 16 from whatever you are shooting, and then that's your score for the day. When you're a plus handicap, it goes the other way. Obviously, I'm sure you know that. So you add strokes. So these guys on tour sit between a +5 to a +8. Okay. And I sit at a +2 to a +3.
I would say
So if
that's a
I
huge difference, no? That I mean, freaking
2, well, you gotta think 2 to
going
3
like,
shots.
going from 18, like 18 handicap to 15 or 14 handicap, massive difference. That's a different
Yes.
player.
Yes. In the plus world, it's not because most of the time our ball striking's all the same. It's who's making the most putts. So if you have a guy that's lipping out putts or it maybe hits one bad drive, then there's your stroke difference. But when you're getting into that level with plus handicaps, it is such a small. It's like a pyramid. Right, so you have all the base, and then as you get up, it gets a little bit smaller, but it gets drastically smaller, but then when you get to the very tip top and you
Just
wanna
make
push
it,
up,
right?
it's such a I mean, we're talking the difference between a +5 and a +3 is 1 to 2 putts around.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, is what you're saying.
Oh, no, and that +5 can shoot 3 under, and I can shoot 5 under, and yet I'll still have the same handicap and he'll still have the same handicap, and
That
then
makes
that
sense.
+5 can shoot 7 under the next day, and then I shoot even par, and I look like I got roasted. He was just making everything from God knows where, and I just had a few bad holes where I had some bogeys and I whatever, but it's such a finite world when you get into that stage that and to me, as a +2 or a +3, and if anyone is hearing this, please, and you're playing a +7, I call them unicorns. There's +7s, +8s. They're like God's gift to earth, whatever. Play them straight up, man. Get into that pressure and push yourself further. That's the only way a +2, a +3 can push because you're at such a level where you can miss 3 putts on the edge, and that's your difference. And you didn't have anything wrong. You didn't play bad. You just had some putts that didn't go in. And it's okay, well, fuck, I gotta go back again the next day, and then you try again, and you say you have 2 putts that lipped out that day, well, there you go, there's your difference right there. Or maybe you didn't get up and down on 1 hole, you just happened to make a bogey. Okay, well, that one bad chip shot that happened to hit something in front and you misread it, and now you have a 9-footer, and then that 9-footer lips out. Okay, well, it's such a dissecting problem because what are you gonna do? You're gonna go chip now? I mean, you missed your chip shot spot by a foot and a half. It didn't work out. There's an element of luck in golf that people don't like to talk about, and sometimes we misread a lie, or sometimes there's a little piece of a grain of sand that pushes
Yeah,
the ball offline,
yeah.
or there's a gust of wind in the air that forced our iron shot in a bunker, and we can't judge that, right? So it's I think at the plus levels, it becomes much more, "Oh, you're +2, I'm +4. Okay, we're playing straight up. Fuck you, I'm ready to roll," and, it'll probably it usually is a good match depending on now people can play bad, even plus handicaps can shoot close to 80. That happens all the time, especially where I
Right.
work. Oh, especially where I work. Oh, yeah, there will be a and I'll have it happen this year. There's a course called Old Mac. It's a, link style course, and it's super tough, and it has all these undulating hills, and it requires a good bounce. Meaning you can't just hit the shot up in the air on the green. You have to hit the certain part of the green and you have to hit at a certain trajectory or you're not gonna get the results you want. And so
Right.
these plus handicaps, they come from what they call parkland golf, and parkland golf is tree lined, softer fairways. Everything's more stick and poke where everything just lands and sits, or there may be a little rollout, but Old Mac is the opposite. There's no trees, everything's really rolling hills. And so if you hit things high and they don't cover a hill a certain way, they'll land soft or you'll get a bad bounce. So a lot of these scratch golfers, they'll show up at Old Mac and they just get ate alive, not because they're not hitting the shots required, but because they're not crafting the shot the way they're supposed to, and they don't know the course that well. So
Yeah.
you'll have a guy that's a 4 or 5 handicap playing against a +2, and that 4 or 5 handicap will win or even lose just by 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah.
And
That
that's a
court knowledge
six.
helps a lot too, huh?
Yes, yes, and especially on those kind of course. So it's called link style golf. Link style golf is, uh,
Hilly?
sort of. Parkland golf can be hilly too, so it's the kind of golf you get. So link style golf, so there's really 2 styles. There's a British style and there's a Scottish style. And the British style, if you think of it like tennis, you have the Wimbledon where everything's really cut neat and the grass is perfectly manicured. So therefore what you end up happening is you get the proper bounce or it's much easier to hit. If you hit the shot desired, you're gonna get rewarded, whereas with Scottish style golf, you can still get a bad bounce. There's a little bit more element of luck in there, and so you almost have to play more not necessarily cautious, but you have to be more accepting of what you get
I
instead
see.
of it's a very it becomes very interesting style golf, but we don't have a lot of true link style golf in the States. It's very limited. It's mostly parkland golf, where you hit the shot up high or you hit the fairway, it's gonna stay in the fairway. You hit the middle of the green, it's gonna stay in the middle of the green. You have your putts. If it's a cup right, it's always a cup right. It's gonna go left in the hole no matter what. That's your British style structured parkland golf. Or link style golf, man, there could be days you hit the middle of the fairway and it just happens to get a bad bounce and it kicks over into a bunker you don't see. And then the same days you'll hit a guy behind you will hit the same exact shot, but because his had a little bit more of a draw and it ended up staying in the fairway. It's right. It's more of a hey, hopefully you get the good bounce. So
Yeah.
um but anyways, man, do you have any last words for the show or
No, man. This was a lot of fun, dude. I appreciate you having me.
yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and so for you all that are listening, I'm gonna get, Angel's website, or if he has an email, if you're interested in getting a website done or any sort of digital marketing advice or anything, please feel free to give him an email, especially if you're in the Southern California area, and that way I can give him some business too, because as we know, he is highly motivated. So that is somebody you would want to be on have on your team. And it was a pleasure talking to you. And it was nice that it was a little bit outside of my element in terms of talking to professional golfers and very avid golfers in terms of being in the business. You brought a whole different perspective to my show, and that's something I appreciate. And I'm very open to that. And that was really cool. So
Like, yeah, you played with a higher handicap player today.
but see, I have more fun. I'm telling you right now, I have had more fun playing with my buddies out here that are high handicappers than I've ever had in my career of golfing, ever.
Yeah.
And that is something that I wish I knew earlier and something I'm very thankful for. So if we do end up having a country club situation where we go play golf, I promise you we're going to play at least one of those rounds together. That would be a blast.
No, dude. And if you ever down here in California, you want to stop by, dude,
I
let's
would
get
love
around
to.
it.
That
Yeah.
would be amazing. That would be awesome. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, thank you for listening to Looper Talk. Don't forget if you're interested in the country club, want to join, Me and Angel are members of it. Feel free to stop by the website and look at it. Again, I'll post it in the description below, and then I will also post Angel's information. So for those who are watching and need some digital marketing or any sort of advice about building a website or whatever, feel free to give him a call and see what he can do for you. So yeah, thanks again for listening to Looper Talk, and don't forget, lighten your bags, 200 to strap. Y'all have a good night.
See you guys. See you, bro.